LeBron James. Now, I know you're 26 years old, and it's kind of hard for me to gauge with younger people where they were in their lives at certain points, but I remember where I was. I was at W.J. Bryan Elementary in North Miami. Shout out to them. And I was in this after school program at the time, right? Huge basketball fan already. This is actually my first year watching basketball, and I'm obsessed already right away. But I'm on my way to middle school. And like I said, huge basketball fan. I go to this after school program. I get off the computers. I go over to either grab something from a table or something. I look up, and there's this pinned magazine cover, Sports Illustrated cover, high school basketball player named LeBron James. And I'm like, you could get on the Sports Illustrated cover in high school? Who is this? So I look around. They had the magazine sitting on the table. I'm 10, 11 years old. I don't care about reading nothing. At the time, Slam magazine was huge. Me and my brother would go to Walgreens, get the Slam magazine, cut the pictures out, put them on our wall. But I needed to read this article. I read the article, and back then, all you needed was an article. I'm like, this LeBron James person is my favorite person in the world. He's hooping like this in high school in Ohio. I need to see this. They end up having a game against, I want to say, Oak Hill. And he went down court, and he did that legendary side tomahawk dunk, whatever it was. I'm like, that's it. It's over. This is the greatest basketball player alive. I don't care who else is playing right now. I'm 10 years old. This is amazing. Then I mentioned the Slam magazine. They came up with, at the time they had Slam ups. So they knew you was cutting the shit out of the magazines and putting it on your wall. They didn't care you was buying already, whatever it was. But they did have these posters called Slam ups, where you fold them out, you just put them on the wall. That dunk was a Slam up. Had that on the wall. And that whole year was just, to this day, I've never seen hype around an NBA prospect like this. Wemby was a big deal, yes, but the stuff for the younger audience out there, because we have some 18 to 24 out there, what you saw with Wemby, I don't know why they tried to make it a debate. The hype Wemby got going into the league was like a fraction of what LeBron was getting. There's that clip that pops up leading into his game, I think against Modern Day or something, and they show like Kobe and Magic and Bird and Ken LeBron join this class of players, and he's 16, 17 at the time. But he was just like, at the time, 6'7", like 225. But still, he had like a Penny Hardaway to him, to where he had the length and the size and the ball handling, and the passing was crazy. Through the legs, passes, all kinds of behind the backs, no looks at that size. The athleticism we don't even have to talk about.
Yeah.
Head at the rim by mistake, like crazy. He had the jumper in high school. You heard the stories about these top high school prospects. I had read about another high school player earlier that year. Not read about, but like saw the articles. Can't remember his name either. But he has a whole documentary. He was like the number one guy.
Yeah.
And LeBron made his name against this guy at ABCD camp. And like it's just LeBron James, the prospect. Even still, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. We mentioned Lonzo Ball also. He had a lot of hype. Fraction of what LeBron had.
Yeah, exactly. Fraction. For sure. LeBron was deemed the one before he got into the league. Like, and it wasn't like they were just handing out at, you know, specifically at those times, like they weren't just handing out like the ones because they, you know, it was just for a lot of, like, it wasn't really like that big of a deal to be named the, like, nobody came along that they were like, yeah, that guy is different. But like you said, as soon as LeBron made it at 14 years old, playing varsity basketball and just absolutely annihilating at like 6'7", 225, got all the way up to like 6'8", 6'9", 240. Moving at that level with that level of athleticism, IQ, wherewithal, all around game, like just all of that had never been seen. And I didn't get to particularly live as much of the LeBron in high school. all I've got to see was the like, like getting it told backwards again.
Mm-hmm.
And the hype was insane. Like he would fill up basketball gyms with scouts and NBA personnel and a small student section. Because it was just he was everything for basketball at that time. Everything for non-NBA basketball, like college was thrown to the side. Melo was in college. Like, think about Melo was in college. And everybody's like, yeah, Melo's the dopest guy in college. But this LeBron dude looks like an alien at the time. It wasn't feasible for somebody to be that big and athletic and be like a one because he was really a point guard. But like, it was just so much going on with LeBron, as well as like, not obviously when we rewatch all the runs and stuff, like he was playing, they was rumored that they were playing ones or they were playing fives at private gyms with like Michael Jordan and Ron Artest. And these are like the best players in the NBA at this time. And, LeBron and MJ was on the same team. They didn't lose a single game. And LeBron was 17, 18, still in high school. This is crazy. And Michael Jordan was old, or not old, but, towards the tail end of his, like all this for a guy who wasn't even in high school. And NBA players are like, yeah, this guy is this level of, tough. Like he's just that good. He took the world by storm. For sure, he took the world by storm.
Yeah, and there were interviews. They asked Shaq about him. They asked Michael Jordan about him. They asked Kobe about him. And it was all high praise. It was all, he can come into the league. And there's that one Cavs video. It's out of context. It is out of context. But aside from that, it was all praise from the best NBA players. Like, he can come up here and really do some stuff. And did he? Like, he came into the league. I think they had him at point guard at first, but he just took the league by storm, and it didn't surprise anybody. I remember this might have been the first time they did this. Like, he got to the league, and preseason, there was like, league pass is free. We have to promote this person. Like, crazy. And I remember just being sick because I had DirecTV at the time, and it wasn't really working it was a Cavs Pistons game. But man, like that hype and being able to exceed it. Because even still, there was the idea of like LeBron can be one of the best players in the NBA. There wasn't a whole lot of he can be arguably the best player ever. and to go to be 16 on a cover of Sports Illustrated, which at the time is like the sports Bible. To be in Slam magazine, which is the basketball Bible at the time.
Yeah, this is before like Twitter or like social media was even like this was social media at the time. Yeah. Like like the magazines that you're like naming, like this was literally like everywhere you went, like that's what you wanted to pick up. A Slams magazine, a Sports Illustrated cover. And he ran the shelves.
And he's a full-on A-list celebrity at 16 years old in Akron, Ohio.
Yeah,
like we're never going to see anything like that again. Like we have players who are versatile now with as far as on-court stuff. Like we mentioned Luka, like obviously we have players who are versatile. That's actually from the LeBron tree.
Yeah,
whether it's Luka, whether it's Westbrook, just ushering in that idea that a star player can do everything. Because you had triple-double threats before. You had obviously the Oscar Robertson. Fat Lever was out in Denver. He doesn't get the credit because those teams just ran into the Lakers all the time. Yeah. But you had guys who could do everything, but not do everything at an elite level at 16 years old in high school. And then go into the league and do it at an elite level for 20 years. Like we're never going to see another LeBron James again. And there was kind of that feeling even back then in 2002, 2003, when he was in high school, I was in middle school, and we're just watching this whole thing play out.
Yeah. Truly, like one of the craziest things, like hindsight is obviously insane. Just because back, obviously now players don't come out of high school directly. Like that's not allowed. I think they're trying to fix that too. Yeah. So, but like even like the college players nowadays, like Wemby was probably the first time that it was like, even brought up to like the LeBron level of just pre like hype. And to be very honest, most of the Wemby hype is because he's like the tallest player in the league, damn near at 7'4", and he's doing shit that he shouldn't be doing. He deservedly
did something today.
Deservedly so got that hype. But even that hype is comparable with all the media now to what LeBron was receiving back then, with like, I don't even want to say a 10th of the media. I want to say like a 50th of the media, with like 2% of what the media is now. And that just says a lot about like, his level of like dominance. Like you said, like every NBA star was like, yeah, this guy's next, this guy's next, this guy's next, before he even stepped on the basketball court. And then obviously from, his very first game in Cleveland till, TBD, honestly, to be determined, he's excelled even those expectations realistically, because nobody would have predicted that he would have been this fucking good.
And just with the era of high school players also, we also have to remember, this is after Kobe already. This is after T-Mac. This is a lot of players had come out of high school and not become who people thought they would be. At the time, you had Tyson Chandler hadn't become Tyson Chandler yet. He would a couple years later. Eddie Curry was considered a bust. Kwame Brown, obviously. Corleone Young. There was Joe Forte. There were players who came out of high school and just kind of fell flat on their faces. And so people were kind of off that a little bit. But then LeBron comes and it's just like, we can't even deny this. Like, this is going to be something. He is not those guys. All due respect to Eddie Curry, he's not them. This is going to be something completely different. And we've seen it. We've absolutely seen it.
Yeah, to this day, we keep seeing it. And it's crazy. So he's definitely, like to your point, like you said, like for a little minute there, we hadn't seen this level of like, there were still players that were coming out of high school that were getting hyped or were really good. Like Stoudemire was,
Miles.
Darius Miles.
Stoudemire.
Stoudemire was there. Obviously, we saw what Kwame did. Rashard Lewis, like Al Harrington came out of high school as well. Like KG, but still, like when LeBron came out, like listen to the names. I said like I might have mentioned like 4 or 5 Hall of Famers right there. Like realistically,
Tracy McGrady, Kobe, just overall T-Mac, Kobe, Amari Stoudemire. Like I said, Tyson Chandler ended up having a really good.
Rashard Lewis was Rashard Lewis. KG was KG, and LeBron was still coming out of high school, and it's like, damn, like,
yeah,
he's
probably the best player to ever come out of high school.
Yeah,
him and Kobe.